to another episode of Multiverse of the Force, and what an episode this is gonna be. We're gonna start off with Miss Marvel just because I'm really excited to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the finale. The finale. There's not a lot to talk about with Miss Marvel. It's mostly just Easter eggs and wow, yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of connections that we saw. Mostly just the 10 rings we saw at the beginning. The group of people, the Jin, Din Djarin. That's what I thought of. They were like, we're the Jin. I'm like, Din Djarin? Like, is that what you're talking about? But no. They're the Jin. They're also called the Unseen, and some other names. And, in the comics, the Unseen actually can avoid the Watcher's oversight. So I don't know if that's something. I was really, really waiting for them to say, like, also, we're called the Inhumans. I was waiting for it, but it didn't happen. I don't know if what they mean by Jin or from the Noor dimension, because the Noor dimension doesn't exist in the comics. But maybe we'll see. The hand that they got Bangle from is actually a blue arm, which looked an awful lot like a Kree hand. And on the shot that was being panned up, that symbol on the ground was a 10 ring symbol. So the bangle might have a connection to the 10 rings, or the rings that Shang-Chi wears. Wow. When we go to the wedding was a very, very cool wedding. Great wedding. We got the quote that her dad says to Kamala, or Kamala's dad says to her in the comics. It's, good is not a thing you do, Kamala. It is a thing you are. That's actually a really great quote. It's a quote similar to, Spider-Man's quote, with great power comes great responsibility. It's kind of that type of quote. But with the whole wedding thing, we finally got Embiggen. Wow. I was like, Embiggen! We got Embiggen! Very sad she didn't say Embiggen, but whatever. We got Embiggen. And it seems like she's getting control over her powers. But wow, they were really we're just gonna crash the wedding, get the kid, and get out of this dimension. Wow. Okay. And Cameron? I don't know. I don't know. I say his name Cameron? He actually, I thought he would be a bad guy, but he's actually trying to help Kamala. So, then that unexpected. Yeah, that fight scene was just really creepy, especially when the lights went out. Wow. I was like, and then Nakia finding out. Wow. She was just like, you. Especially when the damage control came in to the mosque. And Nakia's just trying to be no, you can't be here. You gotta get a war. Queen. Go off. Nakia. Wow. Yeah, so there's not a lot in this episode. That ending where her grandmother, her Nana, and she was like, did you see the train, Kamala? Kamala's like, the train, oh my god, you saw the train? She's trying to hold it in. She's like, can you come? And Kamala's like, what? I can't come. She's like, you want me to go there? I'm here. You want me to go there? But I was thinking, my mom's not going to let me do that. Are you kidding me? Yeah. That's something. Wow. We also got Eric Selvig. Oh, how could I forget it? Eric Selvig. Bruno. Our king. We got the eye mask. I was waiting. We're never going to get Kamal's suit. We got the eye mask. All we need is the suit. All we need is the suit. I don't know if we're gonna get it. We might get Red Dagger, possibly next episode in Pakistan. Who knows? Maybe we'll get the suit. I don't know yet. Maybe not. But I was really excited to see the eye mask and get, Brendan, like, I mean, I can read some stuff from Eric Selvig, or Dr. Selvig. I was like, oh, Eric Selvig? Oh! Yeah. That was real cool that we got to mention. We haven't seen Dr. Selvig since Avengers? I think it's since Avengers. The first Avengers, and he was mind controlled by Loki. I think that was the last time we saw him. Wow. Poor Eric. He was just like, nah, I'm not dealing with this anymore. He's not dead. I think he was just like, nah. No, it was actually Voltron. Because Thor got that, like, vision from Wanda, and he went to go find Dr. Selvig. That was the last time we saw him. Yeah. Last time we saw Dr. Selvig was in Age of Ultron. But other than that, I'm really excited to see where we're letting him go. Kamala's mom is gonna be like, you wanna go to Pakistan to see Nana? No. Nope. Miss? No. Kamala's gonna be like, but, they're gonna be like, unless you tell us what's going on with you, you're not going anywhere. Kamala's gonna be like, I don't know. She's gonna be like, I don't know. Well, Kamala's gonna get her life together. She's gotta get her life together.
Hello there.
Okay, now, this is going to be my favorite thing. Obi-Wan Kenobi! Oh my gosh. I, rewatched it today, and I took a bunch of notes. A bunch. I think, 4 note cards back and front. Wow. And, they're all in order. So, right. Let's start at the beginning. It starts with Riva on Tatooine. So, I think, obviously, with all, Sith Lords or people on the dark side, they're all fueled by revenge or hatred. So that's kind of what Riva's going for. I think she assumes that Darth Vader knows about Luke, but she doesn't know that he doesn't know about Luke. So she's kind of like, I'm gonna kill Luke so that way Vader's hurt. But she doesn't know that Vader doesn't know about Luke or Leia. Which is kind of funny, but whatever, girl. And then we cut to, I don't know if you want to call them rebels. I guess they're kind of rebels. But you cut to, all the people that are fleeing on that ship, and they're being chased by Vader. And this is kind of where it gets to, the Return of the Jedi aspect of this episode. And Obi-Wan wants to bargain, and I kind of wrote down that it was maybe for Leia. He kind of wants to, protect her, and obviously everyone else. He had said something like, you protected the Jedi for 10 years, now it's my turn to do the same. And Leia's being, absolute, lovely person and giving Leia to the kids and letting them, take their minds off everything. And he was like, maybe I should bar her too. And then we cut back to Tatooine, and we get to see Luke. Oh my gosh. I didn't think we were going to see Luke at all. But we actually saw Luke. Who would have thought? Yeah, so we see Luke doing, buying some part, the belt. Weirdly wasn't that important. I really just wrote down Luke in all caps with an exclamation mark. Because it's Luke. And then we cut back to Leia and Obi-Wan. Leia doesn't want Obi-Wan to go. And everyone else also doesn't want Obi-Wan to go, because they're like, we're all supposed to make back. Not just, everyone else but you. And that's where I wrote Return of the Jedi. Bargaining. Luke's like, well, I'm gonna go. There's someone who wants me, not anyone else. And then he said that, you're the future, Leia, and so is everyone else. And then, he turned to Haja, I wrote Hadra with a heart. He turned to Hadra and he was like, make sure that Leia gets home and she's protected. And then we got back to Tatooine, and I wrote down Owen and Beru are fighters. Like, they really do love Luke. Like, their own, you know. I also wrote Beru's a queen. She was just like, you're gonna take that gun, Owen, and we are gonna hurt that lady. And then we're back to Obi-Wan and Leia. Obi-Wan gave Leia a holster. I don't know if the same holster we see, Leia having in the original trilogy or not, but it's a holster. And this is what the line, well, I wasn't gonna give you a blaster, Leia. You're 10. I can only just imagine, just like him being the best uncle if everything was normal. Just like him spoiling Luke and Leia and Anakin and Padme being happy with the twins. Like, would have been the best, but sadly not. And then she said, come back, please. I promise. And he's still talking to Qui-Gon as well, He really wants guidance. I guess, like, in a way, Qui-Gon's the only person left. I mean, he has Yoda, but I guess they're not in contact at all, but they need to be in contact because Yoda was like, train you, I will. Or something like that in Revenge of the Sith. So either Yoda trained him before they, like, parted ways, or, like, they're still communicating. I don't know. And then we cut to Vader on a ship, and the Grand Inquisitor says, we could not prioritize one lone Jedi. And I thought that was pretty funny and, like, ironic, because in Rebels, I think, like, season 1, he hunts down Kanan and Ezra. He was just like, I will get Kanan, Jarrus, and Ezra, Bridger. Like, he hunts them. Like, he's, like, focused on them. So it's pretty ironic that he was like, Vader, you cannot just, like, focus on Kenobi. But yeah, in Rebels, he's like, I will get them. I thought it was pretty ironic. Yeah. And then we cut back. Gosh, there's a lot of cutting. There's a lot of cutting in this. And then we cut back to Tatooine. And I really like this. Luke says, I'm not afraid. And it really reminds me of all the times that Luke said, I'm not afraid. Like, he said it on Dagobah. He was like, I'm not afraid. And then, I mean, there are some other times he said it, but it was really a line that, you heard Luke say a lot. Like, I'm not afraid. And I thought it was really cool that they brought it in. Oh, my dog. Give me a second. Alright. Where was I? Oh, yeah, so I thought it was really cool that they brought back, the lines from the original trilogy. And then we cut, back to Obi-Wan, and he had landed on the planet after Vader was like, follow Kenobi. I don't know what planet it was. It looked an awful familiar to the planet on Rebels. I don't think it's the exact planet, but it looked very similar to it. And whenever we went on the ship, I saw something on Instagram where it looked like, it was like a parallel where Padme in Revenge of the Sith, she was on Mustafar, and like Obi-Wan, it was like a parallel. It was just like, oh my god, that's so sad. So sad. And then we see that Obi-Wan found Lola in his robes, and I just can't help but think that, like, Leia is just, like, so sweet. Like, when Obi-Wan said that, like, I can't help but think I need her too. Like, oh my god. And Leia was just like, well, here you go. You can take a little look. And then we cut back to Tatooine. I put down Reva is being fueled by hatred from Vader, and it's kind of like all about her arc becoming, like, her becoming what she wanted to kill in the first place. She wanted to kill Vader, but yet she's becoming Vader, and she doesn't even realize it until, later in the episode. And then we get the fight. We had the pose from Obi-Wan, like, I would do what I must, from Revenge of the Sith, Clone Wars, Rebels. My god, so good. Yeah, I wrote down the bows, and then you will die from Rebels. Um, Vader said that to Ahsoka when she was like, "I'm no Jedi" or something. No, when Vader and Ahsoka were talking about revenge is not the Jedi way. I'm no Jedi. And he said I don't exactly know how it went, but he said then you will die. Everyone thought the fight is perfect. Vader wanted to show Obi-Wan he was more powerful and that he has the upper hand. And you see that he was really not holding back. Like, he was really just going out. He was like, no, he was like taking, like, he was just powerful. He was like Darth Vader. He was attacking the ground. He brought the ground in. He got the high ground. He must have felt so proud of himself. Like, wow, I wrote down high ground in all caps. And when he said, "Did you truly think you could defeat me? You have failed, master." When, he covered the ground in rocks and he thought he, smushed Obi-Wan. He almost sounded, like, sentimental in a way. Like, I don't know. I couldn't help but think he was almost thinking of the past. Either he was thinking of, the times of being Anakin and Obi-Wan, or he was thinking of all the pain Obi-Wan brought him. I don't know. He almost, like, sounded sentimental in a way. Maybe I'm wrong, but there was something about his voice when he said those lines that just really brought pain. It sounded very painful. I don't know. And then we're back on Tatooine. Owen loves Luke and Beru loves Luke. That's kind of, Beru realizes. She's like, you really love him. Like, he's your own. I don't know if, like, she thinks that just because he's Darth Vader's son that they would love him any differently. Like, he's just a kid. He's just a kid. But yet she seems to think that he shouldn't be loved or anything. And I would like to point out that Luke never saw the lightsaber. I watched it and I watched it carefully. Luke never saw Reva's lightsaber. He was always out of view of it. And when he was running away, he never saw it because he was, like, crawling up through that hole. He never saw the lightsaber. So it's probably why he was amazed to see a lightsaber. He never saw it. I was like, what is this? This is back with Obi-Wan. He was, thinking of, like, all the pain that he caused Anakin, just Anakin and Darth Vader. And then when he was getting those flashbacks of Leia and Luke, he pulled through because of Leia and Luke. So in a way, he could thank Anakin for that. And then whenever he came back and he was fighting Darth Vader, he did Anakin's signature move, that little, like, thing that Hayden came up with. He did that, like, twisty thing in the back and then to the front. Oh my god. I think Ewan McGregor had said that he, like, couldn't do that move. I think somewhere he said that. And, like, it was like, Hayden came up with that move and Ewan could never do it, but he did it. Wow. I was like, oh. And then when he started lifting the rocks, I was like, oh, yeah. You see, Ray? You see that? Yeah. Yeah. You think you're cool when you lifted those rocks in The Last Jedi? You should see this. You ain't a real Jedi. I mean, I guess she's a Jedi, but, like, I don't know. There's something just so cool about Obi-Wan just lifting those rocks and hurling them at Vader. Like, oh my gosh. That was so cool. Like, I literally wrote down right who. Obi-Wan was like, you just lifted a few rocks. Look at me. Look at me. Wow. Obi-Wan was the king. Wow. And we're back on Tatooine. The path Reva was following Luke on is where Ben met Luke. were the Tusken Raiders in A New Hope. Um, it's that path that like R2 I think went on. And Luke was like following him. It looked very similar, like especially when I was playing like Lego Star Wars. It's that path that you go on, and that's where the Tuscans are, and Ben meets Luke. Um, yeah, and then we're back on whatever planet it is with Vader and Obi-Wan. The broken mask. Rebels callback. There's so many Rebels callbacks. Only if you pay attention, you watch Rebels. If you actually see the Rebels or like the parts that Ahsoka and Obi-Wan break off, they're actually on two different sides of the face. And there was something I saw that was like Obi-Wan and Ahsoka only like saw a part of Anakin, but Luke brought back Anakin. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka are both broken by seeing his face. And I think, who wouldn't be? Obi-Wan was the one who made him Vader in a way, putting him in that suit. And Ahsoka was just broken seeing her master like that, Anakin was Obi-Wan's Padawan, but Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan. And I think that, I think in a way, Ahsoka partially might blame herself for leaving Anakin, leaving the Order and everything. Which is why Ahsoka was broken, and she, I think in a way was happy letting the wall close and dying with Vader. Of course, Vader didn't die, and Ahsoka didn't die, but the voice and it changing, oh my gosh. It happened in Rebels too, but it was not as good as it in Kenobi. My god, because you only got that voice change when Vader says Ahsoka, and here we got it almost all the way through. Oh my god. Obi-Wan can't help but blame himself. He was like, I'm sorry, Anakin, I'm sorry. And then he says, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. And it makes a lot of sense for him to say that, because in Rebels he said something to Ahsoka, I forgot what he said, but he says, I killed Anakin Skywalker. Or he says something along those lines, that he killed Anakin Skywalker. He says, Anakin Skywalker's dead. I destroyed him, and Ahsoka's like, no. And, I saw something where, in The New Hope, when Ben's explaining to Luke, about Luke's father, he's just he was a great Jedi, and then a Jedi named Darth came in and killed your father. And I guess to Ben, he wasn't technically lying, because he was told by Vader that, Vader killed Anakin and not Obi-Wan. And I think, in the end, when Obi-Wan says goodbye, Darth, it kind of makes sense. Obi-Wan was finally lifted in a way that, it wasn't really Obi-Wan who killed Darth Vader. It was Anakin. He had so much pain, not just from being burnt alive, but also from losing Padme, from losing even Obi-Wan, from losing Ahsoka. I mean, he lost everything. And then him just screaming, Obi-Wan! He could have screamed Kenobi, but I don't think he could do as well as Darth Maul. And then, when Obi-Wan's flying away, Obi-Wan senses Luke in danger, because he's connected. And Reva, seeing herself, so full circle. And then whenever, she carries Luke back, she asks Obi-Wan, have I become him? That's kind of that full circle moment. She doesn't even realize she was becoming him until she, is about to kill Luke, and she's like, oh no, oopsie daisy, oopsie. And then Reva throwing her lightsaber really reminded me of Ahsoka. I'm telling you, I feel like there were so many callbacks. And maybe it was just me making, unnecessary connections. With, Ahsoka throwing her lightsaber down, or, letting her lightsaber go. And, the Clone Wars, the last episode in season 7. I thought it was really reminiscent of that. But maybe that's just me. We did get our first cameo right now. Palpatine. You seem agitated, my friend. I'm like, wow. Is it that easy to tell, Palpatine? Everything in yeah, what? Everything in Palpatine. Like, he's just like, you seem agitated, my friend. Wait, how can you tell? Huh? And he's just like, They're just like, nope, he means nothing, my master. And then that Imperial March. We haven't heard the Imperial March all season, and we got it. And we cut to Leia on Alderaan, and she had the gloves and the holster. Oh my god. And then she's like, who's it? More cousins. And then Ben, and then Lola comes, and she's like, Lola! And I really liked it. Who am I to separate a young lady from her droid? Wow. Can't help but think Obi-Wan would be a great uncle. And then, him saying, what do you think I should do? I think you should sleep. I saw something again on Instagram that, she was proud. She made Uncle Obi-Wan laugh. And I think this is a really sweet thing that Obi-Wan did. I think he kind of was in the point where he was able to kind of, accept the past and go on to the future. So he was able to tell Leia, about her parents in a way, she is wise, discerning, kind-hearted qualities that came from your mother. And you are also passionate, fearless, forthright gifts from your father. He's able to say, they are qualities from your mother and gifts that came from your father. And I think he's kind of accepted that, that they're both dead. And, Anakin's pretty much gone, and Padme's also gone, but, at least they bore an exceptional daughter. I think it's what Obi-Wan said. And I think it was really nice that, I know there's an argument kind of on the internet about whether Leia should know if he's Obi-Wan or if she should know he's Ben, because she said goodbye, Obi-Wan. And in A New Hope, she was like, years ago you served my father in Clone Wars. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. And then whenever Luke comes in and he's like, I'm here with Ben Kenobi, she's like, Ben Kenobi? Does it mean that she thinks they're two different people? Or I don't know. I think it's kind of a thing where it's Obi-Wan kind of was a way to protect his identity, and Ben Kenobi is a way for, his identity to kind of be kept secret. And the fact that Luke knew Ben Kenobi, she was like, Ben Kenobi, and if you were to say Obi-Wan, I think she'd kind of be excited, but the fact that he said Ben Kenobi, she was excited. I don't know. Maybe that's just, old writing from, A New Hope days. And then whenever we see Obi-Wan go to see Owen and say, maybe he just needs to be a boy, the future would take care of itself. We see him in his Jedi robes, the white robes, which is very nice. He's kind of, letting go of the past, letting the future take care of itself. He's so happy that Owen said, you want to meet him? And he gave him the plane. And we finally got, hello there. We've got hello there. I kind of thought that Ewan McGregor kind of looked hurt when he said it. He was just like, hello there. He sounded like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he kind of looked hurt while saying it. I was like, oh, poor guy. And then we got Qui-Gon. Who would have thought we actually would have got Qui-Gon? Wow. But at the same time, I don't think Qui-Gon's actually supposed to be a Force ghost because he hadn't completed his training. If you watch like season 6 of Clone Wars, when Yoda was going to get that training, Qui-Gon was saying like, oh, I'm only like disembodied voice, you know. I don't think Qui-Gon's actually supposed to be able to be a Force ghost, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. I thought that he wasn't supposed to be able to be a Force, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. I thought. But anyway, it's good to see Qui-Gon Jinn. Am I right? Yeah. Wow, it was a great episode. I'm very sad that it's over. I think I might rewatch it like all 6 in a go. I don't think I'm gonna have time for that. But I think it might be interesting to watch like all 6 in a go. I think it might be better to watch it all 6, you know, together. I think it's kind of almost more meant to be like that instead of watching, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, separated. I think it might be better to do it, you know, all together, almost like in a long movie. And I can binge, believe me. But yeah, wow, Obi-Wan Kenobi's over. That's sad. I'm pretty sure we will see Hayden Christensen and Ahsoka, which is very, very exciting. So Anakin's not over yet, but Obi-Wan is. But I don't know if we're gonna see Obi-Wan Kenobi anymore. Maybe we'll see him as the Force Ghost in Ahsoka, or is that too much to ask? Maybe. Very, very sad, but it was a great show. I know a lot of people kind of have mixed feelings about Obi-Wan. I'm not sure why. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was, you know, great compared to the sequel trilogy, but to each their own. I would like to thank all of you guys for listening to this episode of the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate the podcast. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, a lot of streaming platforms. YouTube. Wow, YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. All are Multiverse Force. When I say Twitter, you can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Yeah, all are Multiverse Force. Oh, Twitter is only Multiverse Force because it has a username limit. But I will see you guys until next time. Goodbye.
You seem agitated, my friend.